everyone, I am Bailey, the owner of Ideal Canine, and I just wanted to come on really quick and show you which e-collar I use and kind of just go over how to use it and what I would tell my clients when they're taking home their dog from a board and train from me. So this is the e-collar that I use. It's called the Mini Educator, and you can get this on ecollar.com. This is the best one on the market. It's not harmful. It's actually more of a muscle stimulant than it is a shock. So this is the exact same technology as a TENS unit from a physical therapy office. So it's not supposed to harm your dog. It's just supposed to get their attention. So inside your box here, you will find your charger, and it's got two different charger ports there. So one of them is for your remote. So on the back here, you just flip this little lip up, and that's where you charge your remote. As long as this is closed, your remote is water resistant. And then the other one is on your e-collar. If you just pop this little lip up there, it charges right there, and then you can close that, and your e-collar is actually completely waterproof as long as that's closed. So your dog can go swimming no problem. And yes, you can still use these in the water. It does not like shock more harshly because they're wet at all. They actually lessened the muscle stimulant once they're in the water, so you don't have to worry about hurting your dog if they're going swimming or if they're out in the rain or something. You can still absolutely use this. And then I get these special collars. They come with normal collars with just a little buckle like this, and I get the special ones that have the bungee. So because you have to put this pretty tight on your dog's neck, this bungee breathes with your dog, and then it's easy. All you have to do is set your dog to whatever hole you want over here. And then with this, you can just clip it right on, so you don't have to figure out how tight it has to be every single time. So this is what I send home with my clients. And then it does come with a couple different prongs here on your actual collar. You'll have shorter prongs for the shorter hair dogs. And then you'll have two little baggies that come in your box here. And they do come with longer prongs for those longer haired dogs. So if you do need to put those on, feel free to do that. And there's a little tool in here in order to take those prongs off. That will help you do that. So in order to turn your e-collar on, there are two magnets. See those red dots? So all you have to do is press the magnets together until you see the green light, and that will flash as long as your e-collar is charged. And they do come charged when you get them. So it will be pre-charged in the box, ready for you to go. And then when they're dying, this will flash like an orangish yellow color, so you know it's dying, or if it's dead, it'll flash red one time and it's dead. In order to shut it off, you also have to connect those again, and you'll see that red light come on to tell you that it's off. To turn your remote on and off, you'll see this big button on the back. It says on, off. You press and hold that until you see on, or you press and hold until you see off. Okay, now that's also, if I turn it back on and I turn this back on, that same button, if I just press it, it's a light. So that light will flash. If I press it again, it'll hold. So you can take your dog out at night, and there's a nice night light for your dog for safety reasons. So just press that again, make sure your light's off so you don't kill your battery. And then on your screen here, it says a little C there. So this button on the back says M/C. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you press that and hold it, it'll beep at you. Now it says M and C, so that means that this button is momentary, this button is continuous. If it just has an M, they're both momentary, and if it just has a C, they're both continuous. So personally, I just use continuous for both of these buttons, so I don't want to see the M on your screen at all. And the reason being is momentary is like 1/8 of a second. It's just very quick. And it actually scares dogs more than anything. Continuous, as long as you're pressing and holding this button, it is continuously stimulating your dog, which actually allows your dog to understand where that's coming from. So it's much like using a long line. If you were to reel your dog in on a long line and they felt that pressure around their neck, it would be just the same as this. You're pressing and holding that button, until they turn towards you, and then you're relieving it. So it's not like they're getting zapped from nowhere and they're freaking out because they don't know where it's coming from. They will know that it's coming from you as long as you're pressing and holding this. And then I always recommend that you do start with a long line, and I like to start with prong collars as well. So teach your dog how to move into that prong collar pressure by taking your dog out on a long line, maybe into your driveway or in a cul-de-sac, and doing a bunch of circles. As soon as your dog hits the end of that long line, put a little bit of pressure on, and they're gonna try to kind of fight it and see, like, you know, what am I supposed to do to get out of this? Once they turn back towards you, relieve that leash pressure and praise them like crazy, whether that's with praise or treats, it doesn't really matter, but either one works. And then once you get them good with just the prong collar, you can then start adding this. The same exact time you would put pressure on that leash, you're gonna press and hold this button and say, let's go, or come. As soon as your dog turns towards you, I'm not saying like, you don't need to shock your dog as they're running towards you, because that's not fair, but just a really low level pressure until they turn towards you. And then once they're running towards you, you can relieve the pressure and praise the heck out of them. So that's how you teach this. And what you want to do, this dial here goes all the way up to 100. Most dogs, to find their working level, which means the level that they just feel. So when we're putting this on the dog, I want the box to either be on this side of the neck or this side of the neck. It should not be right on their jugular. It doesn't need to be there because it's not a bark collar. It also should not be on the top of their neck because that's where their spine is. So there's a bunch of nerve endings there, and they're more sensitive up top. So one side or the other, and then all you do is turn your remote to a level 1, and you tap this black button a couple times right here. This is your everyday use button. So you would tap, tap. The dog's probably not gonna feel a level 1, so you'll go up to a level 2, tap, tap, 3, tap, tap, until you see your dog look towards the side wherever the box is on, or go to scratch the neck or shake the head. Just a very subtle sign that your dog feels it, but it's not hurting your dog at all. That's what's considered a working level. And out of 100, most dogs are in the single digits. Some dogs do start a little bit higher, like 25, 30, and then the more you use the e-collar, the lower they will go. So it's important that if your dog doesn't feel it until level 30, you might want to turn it down to a 25 at first to start, because the more you use it, the more sensitive they're going to become to it. And we don't want to hurt your dog and all of a sudden have them freak out and really feel it. So slowly dial down. I don't want your dog like yelping or like really scratching at the neck, because that's probably a level that's way too high. So when you're first starting this, it's not about corrections at all. It's just about leash guidance and showing your dog how to remove that pressure. Then, once your dog is really, really good about relieving that pressure, the cool feature that I love about this collar is that it's got 2 different settings here. So this one is your everyday use one. So if I have my screen on a level 10, this is a level 10, and then this is gonna be a boost to whatever I set it to. So it could be a 5-point boost, it could be a 10-point boost, it could be a 20-point boost. And what that means is, let's say you're hiking with your dog off leash and you say, Luna, come, and she's like, no, I don't feel like it. Or maybe she sees a rabbit or something and she's like, I'm not gonna feel level 10 today. So all you have to do is press this button instead. And the red button should not hurt your dog. It should just be enough to get your dog's attention if this one's not working. So that's a nice feature, because you don't have to dial up if you're in an emergency situation where your dog's about to take off. You don't have to worry about stopping to dial up. You can just press that red button instead. And then your last button on here has a little T on it on the other side. This is for tone or vibrate. Believe it or not, dogs cannot tell the difference between a vibrate and a shock. It's all one feeling on their neck. They can't comprehend the difference. So really what that's on there for is for us to make us feel better about not shocking our dogs. But realistically, the vibrate is actually more harsh to most dogs than the low level shocks are, because the vibrate is one setting, and it's pretty, I don't know if you can hear that, but it is pretty harsh. So the dial does not change the vibrate button at all. So I typically don't use vibrate, and I don't believe in using tone either, because I don't want the dog, if the dog hears a tone, they're going to be scared of what's coming next, and I don't want them to be scared of getting corrected on this. So instead, use really low level. It shouldn't be hurting your dog at all. It should just be your dog's feeling it and your dog moves out of that pressure. So start really low, and then you can go up and go higher into the correction stage, and I can do another video to show you that. But don't do corrections right away. This should be a tool that when your dog sees this, your dog should be like, oh my God, what are we doing? Where are we going? Let's go have fun. Not like, oh my God, what did I do wrong, right? So make sure that you're using this every single day to do something fun. You're not just using it when you need it, when your dog's being bad. I think that's it as far as all the buttons go. So please let me know if you have any questions at all. Feel free to comment below, and I will answer any of those questions. Thank you guys so much for watching.